In my early lecture, we have discussed about equation of state. For example, the example of an equation of state is f of p comma v comma t is equal to 0. This is the parametric form, and exact form of the equation of state for ideal gas is PV is equal to nRT. Now we can deduce some important equation from the equation of state. So let us give an example. We can use the equation of state in the parametric form to study the behavior of any substance under different conditions. To show this, we first consider a hydrostatic system, and the equation in parametric form is pressure P is equal to P V comma T. That is, pressure is a function of volume and temperature. Now, an infinitesimal change in P can be expressed in terms of infinitesimal changes in volume and temperature. So, you see this equation. This equation is dP, that is change in pressure dP, is equal to del P by del V as a function of T dV plus del P by del T V dt. So, partial differentiation has been applied in the equation 4.15, and we have obtained the equation in 4.16. So in this equation, the parameter del P by del V T expresses the rate of change of pressure with volume when temperature is kept constant. So what is del P by del V by T? This is the rate of change of pressure. You see in the numerator it is del P, in the denominator this one is del V, and T is constant. So del P by del V T expresses the rate of change of pressure with volume when temperature kept constant, and it is basically isothermal process. As we are saying the temperature is constant, so this process is isothermal process. Now what is del P by del T V? Del P by del T V expresses the rate of change of pressure with temperature when volume is kept constant. And as volume is kept constant, so this process is isochoric process. Now, for an isobaric process, pressure is constant. So we may say that dP is equal to 0. Now, if dP is equal to 0, then equation 4.16 takes the form del P by del T V is equal to minus del P by del V T multiplied by del V by del T P. So after some algebraic rearrangement and putting dP is equal to 0, we can get equation 4.17 from the equation 4.16. To give a physical meaning to 4.16, we note that the coefficient of volume expansion or expansivity alpha of a material in an isobaric process is defined as alpha is equal to 1 by V del V by del T P. This particular parameter is very important. I am repeating its definition. Coefficient of volume expansion or expansivity alpha. What is alpha? Alpha is defined in this equation 4.18. Alpha is equal to 1 by V into del V by del T P, that is rate of change of volume with respect to temperature per unit volume, that is 1 by V multiplied here, and pressure is kept constant. Now let us define another parameter, that is isothermal elasticity ET. Isothermal elasticity is inverse of isothermal compressibility beta T, and ET is defined in this way, that is ET is equal to minus V multiplied by del P by del V T. Del P by del V means rate of change of pressure with respect to volume when temperature is constant. As temperature is constant, it is known isothermal elasticity. Now the point is that volume decreases as pressure increases. We know that volume decreases if you increase the pressure. When temperature is fixed, you have kept the temperature constant. Now as volume decreases as pressure increases, so del P by del V is always a negative, because you are increasing a quantity, then the another quantity decreases. That is why del P by del V is always a negative quantity. Therefore, a negative sign has been included here. Here this negative sign has been incorporated so that the ET is meaningful. ET means that isothermal elasticity is meaningful, and we have kept ET ultimately in a positive quantity, because del P by del V is itself negative, and we have again given a negative sign here. So ultimately the expression of ET becomes positive and it is physically meaningful. So we have introduced two different parameters, alpha and ET. Now using equation 4.18 and 4.119, that is by these two quantities alpha and ET, what we can do, we can write the expression of del P by del T V by incorporating ET and alpha. So how we can write? We just put the values of alpha and ET in the right hand side. So after some algebraic rearrangement for the equation 4.17, we are writing del P by del T by incorporating alpha and ET. So del P by del T, it becomes ultimately alpha into ET. So this equation implies that for a given change of temperature, the increase in pressure will be more when expansivity as well as elasticity are large. So for a particular change of temperature, if you keep dt fixed, then if you increase the values of alpha and ET, that is if you values the parameters of the right hand side, then definitely the pressure will increase. And we can write 4.16 equation, that is this equation, and again by introducing the parameters ET and alpha in the right hand side. So after some algebraic rearrangement and incorporating the parameters alpha and ET, we can write the equation 4.16 in this manner, that is dP is equal to minus ET by V dV plus alpha ET dt. So we can rewrite the equation 4.16 by incorporating the parameters ET and alpha in the form of equation 4.21. So now we will discuss the significance of this equation. This result shows that if a system is allowed to expand, change in pressure will be less than that for an isochoric process. I am again repeating the sentence, that change in pressure will be less than that for an isochoric process. So how can we understand this line? For an isochoric process, isocoric process means volume is fixed, so dV is equal to 0. So what will happen for the isochoric process? dV will become 0. So in that case, equation 4.21 will become dP is equal to alpha Et into dt. So this is the value of dP for an isochoric process. Now the process which is not isochoric, what will happen? There will be the first term in negative sign. That means if there is a term negative with negative symbol, that means that will ultimately decrease the value of the second term. So this is the equation for an isochoric process, and this is for non-isochoric process. So definitely change in pressure will be less than that for an isochoric process, because for isochoric process this equation is dP is equal to alpha Et into dt. Now thus for a finite change in temperature, the change in pressure is given by P1 to P2 dP, that is equal to P2 minus P1 is equal to T1 to T2 Et alpha dt. That is what we have done. For an isochoric process, this equation is this one, that is 4.22. And if we integrate this equation, then P1 to P2 dP, that is equal to P2 minus P1 integration of T1 to T2 Et alpha into dt. And after performing the integration, and here we have assumed that alpha and Et, these two parameters are constant independent of temperature in the small range considered here. So we have assumed these two parameters alpha and Et does not depend on the temperature. If we assume that the temperature range is very small, so in that case what we can do, the equation 4.23, we can write that equation in this manner, that is P2 minus P1 is equal to alpha Et into T2 minus T1. Now this equation shows that if alpha and Et are known experimentally, then for an isochoric process we can calculate the final pressure for a given rise in temperature and vice versa, because you know all the values here, that is you know the values of alpha Et, and that you will be informed about the temperature change and initial pressure. So ultimately with the help of equation 4.24 we can calculate the final pressure. This equation is very important, and there are several numerical problems discussed in this book. So let me tell, that is this book is Thermal Physics with Kinetic Theory, Thermodynamics and Statistical Mechanics by Garg, Ghosh and Bansal. So I will request the students that you can do several numerical problems involving this equation, that is equation 4.24, and I advise you to go through the example shown in this textbook. So this is the end of the lecture. I thank you all who have listened this lecture.